It's morning in May, early May, on a slope of an Appalachian mountain in North Carolina. And we're going to take a look at what we've got. This looks like a species of maple that we don't get in New York City, which we call the striped maple. Those broad leaves that have three main lobes, or just three lobes, period, pointed at the apex, and they're clearly opposite. I mean, maples are opposite, but these look obvious. Here's a ubiquitous member of our eastern forests, not just here in the Appalachians. This is the I guess the spotted geranium, or our eastern geranium, wild geranium, Geranium maculatum. And right next to it we have a species of cardamine diphyllea, I think. The cut-leaf toothwort, or maybe, if I'm wrong, it's definitely one of its close relatives. Cardamine is in the crucifery. You got the four-petaled flowers. And here's a close-up of the leaves. And you see that the leaves have big indentations. They're definitely dentate. I guess that's where it gets its common name from, cut-leaf toothwort. There you go. Over here we have a trillium. But this is just the beginning. There are so many trilliums here, and I hope to show you a few. This is a member of the Orobanchaceae, a parasitic species. This is Conophyllus americanum, and it's growing underneath one of our oaks here, and just above it you get to see Trillium grandiflorum. Okay, Trillium grandiflorum being one of the larger flowered species of Trillium here, and it's completely white with green sepals that are a little bit farther back. Now what we have here that look like leaves are not actually leaves. Well, at least according to some botanists, those are bracts, because the whole thing is a peduncle of a flower. Everything you're seeing above ground. Underground, what you have is a rhizome, an underground stem growing horizontally, and from that stem comes out one shoot that's photosynthetic. The bracts, these flower bracts, function as photosynthetic leaves, or functionally they're leaves. And that's, one of the reasons why it's so important not to pick these wildflowers is because repeated picking year after year will kill the plant. This is it. This is the only shoot it's going to produce this season. So this is its only source of food, of producing photosynthesis. Here's an older one. As they age, they turn a pink color. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right next to it is the false Solomon seal. You can tell that it's the false Solomon seal by the apical inflorescence. Right? It's not fully developed yet. But the true Solomon seals will have flowers lining underneath or coming out at each node of the leaves. Here's a little population of the grandiflorum trillium. And there's a real Solomon seal, a true one. Could be Polygonum biflorum or pubescens. And this is what I'm talking about when you look on the underside of the leaf. You see the flowers coming out at each node. So this is not biflorum because biflorum would have 2 flower buds per node. Here's a mature specimen of Trillium erectum with the typical white flowers and green sepals. Very different from Trillium grandiflorum. The ovary is very visible. It's out. And it's kind of hidden in Trillium grandiflorum, giving it that funnel-shaped look. This one doesn't have that. It's lacking that. Also, the ovary is maroon or dark purple. So that's what you are expecting to see in Trillium erectum. But Trillium erectum has a couple of color varieties, and we can find a few of them here. Here's another, I do believe this is Trillium erectum, but this one has pinkish or mottled, speckled, I don't know how you want to call it, petals, as opposed to the white ones. It could be a hybrid, a naturalized hybrid, or just another variety. I'm not an expert on Trillium, so I have to defer to other people who would know more. So here is Trillium erectum again, a little bit of a pink splosh on it. Splosh, is that a word? I don't know. A little speckling or pinkish speckling on it. And we move from there to the more typical white form. And right next to it, we have a red form. It's beautiful. That is a dark red or maroon flower. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And just growing next to this bloodroot is Sedum tornatum. I think it's the mountain or slopey or mountain, I forget which the common name is. Stone crop. It's a stone crop, but I forget the first part of the common name. But Sedum tornatum, look that up and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that beauty. The blue flowers of the geranium. Trilliums. Oh, there's a lily growing. There's lots of lilies here. But there's a lily growing right underneath a young, yet still damaged hemlock tree. The hemlocks are on their way out, they're just dying. And due to the woolly adelgid, there's lots of, you see this big tree up here. This big tree up here is dead. That was a hemlock. There's lots of dead hemlocks in this property. Anyway, this is Podophyllum peltatum. It has a peltate leaf, with the stem of the leaf directly attached to the center of the leaf rather than to an edge. As you can see it here. Let me show you. Here, for example, this is a better view. See that? At the center of the leaf. And underneath, this is called mayapple because it flowers. The flowers eventually mature into these apple-like fruit. This one doesn't have, doesn't even have flowers right now. These plants were out last week when there was a hard freeze and there was a lot of damage caused to their flowering parts. But for the most part, I think they made it through. So they're highly adapted to late frosts. As up here at about 3,000 feet, they're highly adapted to frosts as late as mid-May. This mountain habitat for you. What you see in flower up here now probably was done flowering at lower elevations already. So there's the unopened flower, and maybe we'll find an open flower today. Oh, so I found a botanical treasure. I wasn't expecting to see this. This is the painted trillium. Whoa, look at those recurved petals. But mainly, you got the red rim or maroon or purplish rim of color right at the center. Like, come here, drink from me, or not really. Come here, bumblebees, and take my pollen, transport it around. What a beauty. Whoa. I had not seen this one here before. I am so glad I came out and saw it. Amazing. Let's take a look. Look how, oh yeah, these guys are not sessile leaves. Actually, they're bracts, remember, but the leaves are not sessile. They have a little stalk to them. So they're petiolate. Yeah, let's look at the underside. Nothing special on that side, but wow. Look at that flower. Let's take a close look at that flower.